The Tab S6, the Surface Pro X and the iPad are in our minds at the top of the tablet market today.
You probably wonder why we do not have the Surface Pro 7 here with us, and we just don't think it's the future of Microsoft, right? So if you feel differently about it, let us know in the comments below.
And so you know what you've got yourself in for. We have 8 categories. We have tested 8 categories, which includes gaming, video editing and drawing, and much more, of course. And we've selected each one and how many points I would give them, how many points Jens would give them, out of a total of 5 per category.
Important to mention that we also have a subjective category. So which one do we like personally, no matter what the other points are. If you have already your favorite device, let us know in the comments below. Don't hesitate. And I checked this morning, guys, we have 70% of people watching our content that are non-subscribers, right? Please make sure you like and subscribe to our videos so we can do more content like this.
Category number 1 is pricing.
They're all entry-level devices, Wi-Fi only, lowest amount of storage. They're all upgradable in terms of storage, and they're also available, all of them, in the LTE version. Pricing is correct at the time of filming.
If you look at the pricing, the only one that actually comes with its pen is the Tab S6.
Yeah.
The Surface Pro X, the pen is included in with the keyboard. So we already have a super winner with the Tab S6 at half the price of the Surface Pro X.
Price-wise unbeatable, that's where the Tab S6 really takes the lead.
Category number 2 is specs.
Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of pinpoint what is better and what isn't better because it's all on paper, and we're gonna find out later really if that matters or not. But just to mention 3 different screens, the Tab S6 has a Super AMOLED screen, the iPad Pro has a Liquid Retina screen, and the Surface Pro X has a Pixel Sense display. All screens are really nice actually to look at. The Tab S6 has an HDR support. All screens have different refresh rates.
Category number 3 is the pencils.
Yeah, so because the screens have different refresh rates and the pencils are all different, you can see they all have different lags, right? So when you write something and when you draw something, the input delay is slightly different. And we did a slow motion test, 100 frames per second, so you can really see. But does it really matter? Did you have any different experience when you were writing? That's important.
For me personally, I am a huge user of the pencils. The Apple Pencil writes immediately as you go, and you do notice a difference between the Apple Pencil and the other 2 pencils.
Okay.
The Microsoft Surface Pencil for me was the last in the group because of the cursor, and when you are actually writing, the cursor is quite off-putting. So the Apple Pencil came up on top. The Samsung Tab S6 pencil was actually quite close behind because it's actually a very nice pencil to use with the Microsoft Pencil at the back.
Yeah, to me, the drawing really doesn't make a difference, and the lag doesn't make a difference to me because I just write something down, right? So for me, they are almost tied, although I have to say that because of the minimal amount of lag the iPad has, that's a clear winner. Between the Tab S6 and the Surface Pro X, I wouldn't differentiate. I couldn't see the difference.
I think you may actually choose the Microsoft Surface Pencil because you can use the rubber on the end.
Yeah, I like that. I like these old school things like we had in school earlier. You just turn it around and then it's gone.
Category number 4 is the keyboard experience.
And that couldn't be more different, couldn't it? And we have 2 keyboards with a touchpad already. And we have one that is backlit, and that's the Surface Pro X, and the Tab S6, they have the touchpad, and the backlit is the Surface Pro X. But for me, the keyboard experience was the best for the Surface Pro X. What was it for you?
Oh man, the iPad, you have let us down. We have to write a letter to Tim Cook. We cannot work with that keyboard. I'm sorry, I hate that keyboard. Category number 5 is video editing.
And speaker tests, but we have done video editing. We have done extensive videos on Tab S6 versus iPad Pro. So we've done that. And in fact, it doesn't get much different than that because the Surface Pro X, you can't video edit on that. I tried to download Premiere Pro and it's just not usable for that. So important to mention, that we tried Adobe Rush and LumaFusion again for the Tab S6 and the iPad Pro. And the speakers itself, we have 2 quad speakers, one on the iPad Pro and one on the Tab S6 with the Dolby Atmos. And then the Surface Pro X has stereo speakers.
The first thing I would say is that it is really a test of the software, and I kind of feel sorry for the Samsung having the Adobe Rush on there because it failed. It kept stopping. I couldn't do that much with it. LumaFusion, on the other hand, is an absolute dream to work with, and you can do so much on there. So the Apple wins in this case. But I think it's a little bit unfair to the Samsung Tab S6.
Well, you have to bear in mind that we have thrown graded C-Log footage towards both devices, right? So they're kind of really heavy. If you probably take out your mobile phone, you film something in 4K, then you probably be able to edit better in Premiere, in Adobe Rush than you would now with the C-Log footage. Important to mention, all is 4K footage, 25p.
Category number 6 is gaming.
Yeah, and here really something failed again. We wanted to do the universal gaming test of Fortnite, but again, the Surface Pro X let us down because you just can't download it and you can't install the quick launcher. So we had to come up with something else, and we came up with Asphalt 9, a popular racing game.
And I would say our marks, when you see them on these, the points we have given, I have given a lower mark for all of them, and that is because it is light gaming. We're not talking anything that's really that graphics heavy here that we tested. So the iPad came out on top for me.
Yeah, most fluid one. The other ones, the Tab S6 I think is the close ones to the iPad. And the Surface Pro X was choppy times.
Yeah, but I love playing on the Tab S6 because it's a nice...
The size matters.
Category number 7 are the Geekbench results.
Yeah, so we tested every single result 5 times, every single Geekbench score 5 times, and have the average down here. We tested 2 categories. One is the AC, the power cord plugged in, and one is unplugged. The reason why we do that, we noticed that laptop manufacturers, laptop makers are having different results. They don't give you the full power when you are unplugged and when you are on the road to preserve components and battery life. The impressive and important part here is that the Tab S6 really reverses that whole system. So when you have the Tab S6 out in the field, your results are actually much higher or slightly higher than when it's plugged in. And I think that is a smart move. The other two, the Surface Pro X and the iPad Pro, came out kind of similar to that, but then the iPad Pro in terms of numbers crashes the whole system here, right? Crashes both other devices.
And the final category is our own feelings on these devices. So how do you feel about the 3 devices?
So I mean, they're all great devices. If you know which one you would choose, let us know in the comments below already, but they're all fantastic devices. I have to say that, but I'm not going to beat around the bush here, right? I have a soft spot for the Microsoft Surface Pro X, but there are many shortcomings and many people may not like that. I have a slightly bigger soft spot for the Tab S6, right? I like that Samsung is keeping the Android market alive because we need that competition. And the iPad Pro is probably one of the most polished tablets you can get out there. What I don't like about the iPad Pro is we get the same iPad, but more power, slightly thinner bezels. Keyboard is the same since we can walk, and nothing really changes. There's no innovation.
And for my use case, I would always choose the iPad first. That's because I'm 100% within the ecosystem. I do everything on there, do everything with Apple, and that's not going to change in the short term. But the Tab S6 was a joy to work on, an absolute joy to play on and to do the videos on as well. The testing that we've done, the Tab S6 was fun to play with. The Microsoft Surface Pro X for me wasn't that much fun, but that's because it's trying to be a workhorse.
Yeah, it's aimed at different people, right?
It's aimed at a different market. Yes, I do use Microsoft products, but I don't want to be limited within that.
Yeah, do you use your Microsoft products on your Mac?
Yes.
There you go. So maybe you should try the Surface Pro X instead and see how that works out.
Not going to happen. So the end results were clear for me. iPad first, then the Tab S6, and then the Microsoft Surface Pro. But yours was a little bit more complicated.
I have two winners. Sorry, I have two winners. Tab S6, Surface Pro X, because I like when people try something new and try something different and come out with new stuff. The iPad Pro, as I just mentioned, is a evolution, not a revolution, right? So if people don't keep trying, and I know that Microsoft gets a lot of hate for what they have done.
I will also say that you will keep the Microsoft Surface Pro.
Yes, I will.
So it is not in third place. It's in third place out of a trillion different tablets available.
Yeah.
It is the top of the cream of the crop.
Pretty much. And again, we don't think the Surface Pro 7 belongs in here. If you feel differently about it, let us know in a comment. And guys, make sure you like and subscribe. 70% of you guys watching our videos, we are super appreciative about that. Make sure you subscribe and we can do way more content like this. Jens here from All Star Space.
Tony the Card Geek.
Thank you for watching.